I am Brittany Yunker with the Commerce7 team, and I will be your lovely host today, talking about campaigns. So we're going to be pretty basic, but then talking about some other stuff as well. We'll look at the slide here in a sec to take a look at the agenda. So hopefully everyone will get something out of this, and by all means, ask questions in the Q&A section. At the bottom of your screen, there should be a little Q&A icon, and that's where you can ask questions. And then Margaret will be joining us here in a moment as well, and she will be fielding those questions, and we'll have a Q&A at the end as well. But if you do have questions during the presentation, go ahead, because she can certainly pop in with those and we can answer them in context as well. So I think we're going to get started. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And I'm hoping you all can see it. Just wanting to be sure. Apologies for the technical difficulties this morning, you guys. Okay. Whoops. Let's go back to my slide. And let me take a look at our participants here. Okay, cool. Take a look at the chat because I don't have Margaret here yet. All right, and if someone could also just put in the chat real quick that you can see my screen, I'll get started since I don't have Margaret here to confirm yet. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. Fantastic. So we're just going to talk about a few things today all about campaigns. So basically, why email campaigns? Why is it great for the space that we're in? I'm going to talk about some tags and queries. That'll probably be a little bit later in the presentation, but we will be touching on those so that we can create segments of folks to send our campaigns to. Going to talk about the available templates that are in Commerce7, campaign architecture and how to build the campaigns, testing and sending of the campaigns, and then finally campaign tracking and reporting, as well as a few best practices that we've seen as well that are super effective. So let's get started. I'm going to head into my sandbox here, my account, and from the dashboard to get to campaigns, we go to marketing, which puts us on the campaigns tab here. Now, I have a few here that obviously have already been executed or canceled. They're in various states of status. So this is what it looks like. If you have not done a campaign before, then what you will see is what I'm going to do right now, which is add campaign. And this is where we see the 5 templates. Now, before I get into this, I just want to talk very briefly about why campaigns. Campaigns are fantastic for the craft beverage space, wineries, breweries, distilleries, because as you know, I'm sure, when customers come into your world, into the tasting room, into a tasting experience, when they have seeked you out and they're there, you have imparted the magic, which is your business, on them, and they feel a connection to you. That's why they're there. So you want to maintain that connection, and it's great to be able to do that with very thoughtfully crafted reach outs, which include email. And in our space, if you do it right, and we'll talk about what doing it right means, but if you do it right, it very well could be 20 to 30% of your revenue. So it is impactful, it's important. And so that's why we're talking about it. And that's why there's such a robust campaigns feature on Commerce7. So having said that, let's take a look at the campaign templates that are available here. The first one is the welcome campaign. Now, all of these are customizable within each one. In other words, you don't have to, you'll see as we get into it on how to build them, how you can change things around. But these are general, like if you have a particular communication that you want to send out, most likely one of these is going to work at least for a jumping off point, and that's why we offer them up. So the welcome campaign is primarily for those folks when you are coming from another software provider to Commerce7. This is a fantastic way to let them know, because sometimes they'll be longtime customers and they'll be like, wait, this doesn't look like it used to, and they might get a little discombobulated about it. Well, this way you can be really proactive and say, hey, we've made this exciting change. This is how you change your password. This is the account area, et cetera, et cetera. This is what we've done. So you can reach out to everybody and just let them know kind of what's going on there. On the second one, we have the product launch, and the product launch is great if you are launching, if you're wanting to feature one product. So think of like a gift pack during Christmas time, or maybe you're really known for your rosé and everybody clamors for it. You're like, the rosé is here. You can really feature just the rosé here. So this is a great one, just like one and done. This is what we're selling. Come and get it before it sells out kind of thing. So that's a great way to do that. The next one is a sale. So if you're going to be having a sale, or you are having a sale right now, you can send this out to a segment of your customers and say, hey, these are the wines that we're featuring right now, or these are the beers, or these are the spirits, whatever they are. These are what they are. And what's great is that there's these add to carts here. So when you click on the add to cart, it automatically pops you over into the cart. And then with very few clicks, they're able to, pick out exactly what they want, their quantity, and check out really quick. So these are great. Let's see here. We also have the shop now. Now this one is fantastic. It's just like super direct, super quick. And basically it's like, hey, we want you to come shop right now. You click here, this will take you directly to, the store. You can customize it, but it takes you to where the wines are that you have featured that you want these people to see. So as you can see, there are lots of options here with the templates, various nuances. Certainly each of these could be kind of interchanged in a way, or these three at least. But the fact is there are these nuances. So just think about what your particular communication is, and then choose the one that's going to be best as your jumping off point. And then of course we have a blank one, which is not terribly exciting to look at because it's not built out yet, but it starts with your logo up here, and then you can build whatever you want on here. And we'll talk about how to do that. So going back over here, look at my notes here to see if there's anything that I missed on that first part. No, I think we're good to go. So first of all, I am going to, let's see, I like the shop now. So I'm going to go into this one, and this is one that we're going to use as an example to build out. So the first thing to realize is that all of the logo, the font, the kind of the color palette here, this is all pulled from settings and the general area. So whatever you have defined there is going to be pulled and mapped into these emails, for consistent branding. So just so you know, that's where you can change those things if you need to, settings and general. Up here, this title is internal only. So I'm going to call this new signups. Let's see, May 29th. Yeah, I just want so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an email for new signups. These are people that came into my tasting room in the last week, gave the staff their emails because they want to be communicated with. And so I'm sending out a follow-up. I do this, in my imaginary winery. I do this weekly. I pull it up weekly, and then I send this out so that I have this touch with them. Here we decide who it's going to. Now these are customer tags. So you want to create these tags first if you don't already have them in the system, and then you'll be able to choose it here. So I did already create my tagged segment of folks. So the week of May 29th. The from email, the from name, those actually, again, come from settings and general. So you can go change that if you need to, or you can change it here. It's totally customizable, you know, in each of the templates as well. Email subject, I'm going to say, welcome to the family, because these are new people and I want them to feel welcome. Email preview text. So this is that little teaser that you see when you see a whole list of emails. Before you click into it, you see a little teaser underneath it. So I'm going to say, let's see, how about get 10% off of all purchases? You can tell that I was practicing because it remembered it. Get 10% off of all purchases. As we scroll down, we see that there are different sections here, and these are blocks. We call them blocks, and each block is a different kind of thing. So if I click on a block, you'll see this blue perimeter line that highlights it, and that's how you know that you're working in that particular block. So this one happens to be the logo position, the header, and I can choose to either center it or put it on the left. I kind of like it in the center, so I'm going to keep it there. Then we have this block, which is the title block. And this one, you know, defaults to this gift messaging here, but I actually want to say, just do welcome to the family again, just for fun. Okay, welcome to the family. And again, I can center it or make it left or right justified. Looks best in the center in my eyes. Now I'm going to add an image. And this could be an image of a bottle. It could be an image of whatever. In this case, I am wanting folks to, I want it to be evocative of their visit. And I know that when they visited last week, there was lots of mustard in the vineyards. So I'm going to choose one of those pictures. So I am going to click on that so that I am now in this block. I'm going to change my image. I'm gonna grab my mustard picture. Okay, that looks pretty good, but boy, it'll look really good if I go full width. Ah, much better. So very pretty, nice Google image. No, really, it's my own winery. This is my own winery here. So it's yeah, very pretty. It will remind people what it was like when they visited. And then let's see here, we have a call to action block. So I'm going to actually grab some text that I created earlier. Let's grab that and then go back here. And this is where we put that. Okay, perfect. I'm like, hey, we're so excited you came and we're happy to start this journey with you and enjoy 10% off your entire order. And then a shop now. So a word about the blocks. You can get rid of a block by clicking on the trash can next to the block. The block needs to be highlighted for you to see that. The other thing you could do is if you wanted to, you could change the order of the blocks. And again, you have to highlight it and then you'll see this little guy over here and you click and drag so that it is in a different spot. I happen to like it down here though, so we're going to put it back. And if you wanted to add another block, you can do that. Again, highlight the block. Then down here, when you float your cursor down the bottom perimeter here, you get this plus sign, click on the plus sign. And now you can add a title block, content, a product, if you want to highlight a product at this point, club, coupon, another image, or another call to action. I actually like the idea of adding my club information here so that if people want to, they can go ahead and join. So when you do this, you choose club, you pick whichever club, this will list all of your clubs. I'm choosing my 12 bottle traditional. Again, it can be, you know, maybe I want it on that side. Looks kind of cool. I still kind of like it in the center though, so I'm going to keep it there. You can decide to show the title or not, sign up button or not, content or not. I'm going to change the content to join the club. And that is that. Oh, the other thing you can do, which I'm going to do right now, is I can change the alternate background color to that. So again, this is being pulled from my settings in general. That's where this dark gray is coming from. So on yours, it would be most likely probably different. But I kind of like that. This is looking pretty good. So yeah, so I like that. I am now going to review it. And here we see at a glance what the setup is. Now it's super, super important to make sure all of this is correct and then test it thoroughly. But first, just make sure, make sure it's correct. So yes, I'm sending it to this tagged segment. There are 3 people in it. It's coming from Brittany at Commerce7, from Brittany's Wines. Here's the subject, here's the preview text. And then we get a little snippet here, but we can also view the full email, in which case we get this modal, and then you can take a look at it. You won't be able to click on these here. You'll be able to do that in the tests that you're sent, however. So here's a good place to look for any grammatical errors, spelling errors, that sort of thing. So closing. Okay, now I'm going to send a test, and we do force you to send a test before you can send the actual email. And that's very important and valuable. So I'm going to go ahead and send this test. You can send it either to yourself or others. So you can add an email and send it to the winery owner or whoever else is going to be doing this. But it's just going to me, sending the test email. Okay, great. I'm going to trying to pop over. Hello, hello. Oh, there we go. It's thinking. Let's go to the top here. There it is. Okay. So it has sent me a test, and I'm looking at it, and it looks really pretty. I can get, if I'm seeing any errors, I can certainly go back in and edit where I need to. But this is where you can check your links. So for instance, I'm going to click on my shop now, and let's see what happens. So it's going to take me to the front end, and it's going to take me to my personalized shop now page, where I see that, yes, I would be getting my 10% off. And then I can, start adding things to my cart, etc. But it takes me directly here from that email without too many clicks, which is fantastic. And then this is also where you can click on sign up for the club. And this takes me to my, there we go, takes me to my clubs page where I can, take a look at what the next shipment would be and all the regular club stuff, add my any additional payment, delivery information, etc. So let's go back over here. So it looks great. I'm happy with it. And now I have the opportunity to either schedule it, in which case I would define a date and time, or I can send it now. I'm going to go ahead and send it now. So now, great. So now here we are, it's in a status of processing. Once it has processed, when it has actually sent, then it will change to executed. And we'll look at that in a minute too on some of my executed campaigns. And then once you see that, then you'll be able to take a look at some of the, you'll start seeing the stats come in, the analytics and that sort of thing to see who opened, who bounced, et cetera, et cetera. A word about sending. The emails are sent in batches. And the reason that it's sent in batches is that we make sure that we maintain a sterling reputation for not sending spam. So we're very careful about this, and we need to make sure that there aren't a bunch of bounces, there aren't a bunch of dead emails. So we send them in batches until such point that we see that, oh, okay, these emails are trusted. And once they are marked as trusted, then that means that your campaigns will go in, your batches will run, and correct me if I'm wrong, Margaret, but your batches, as time goes on, if everything is trusted, then the batches will run quicker.
Exactly, yeah. So
Is that
basically,
accurate?
yeah, so if you have a successful amount of emails that are sent out, basically we're doing a constant analysis of the percentage of bounces or spam reports that come from each of these sends. So basically at any point, if it gets over the threshold that we have in place, we will block the campaign. But if you do have a successful amount of emails being sent out, if they're proper email addresses that are customers who want to be receiving marketing communications, then you'll have no issue sending out your campaigns.
Awesome, thank you so much. All right, I want to go back over into campaigns, and you will see that yeah, my 3 were sent, but they were executed. So, but I'm going to actually go, but none of them have been opened yet. So let's go into one where things were opened so that we can see what that looks like. So I'm going to go into this one. I believe this one has. Oh, yes, it has revenue too. So once it's executed, you can go click into the campaign and you'll see these 3 tabs here. And again, at a glance, you'll see who it was sent to, how many it was sent to, how many opens there were, how many clicks, and then any revenue associated with the campaign. So, and then, spams, unsubscribes, bounces. So you can see down here kind of the health of this particular tagged segment. If we go into events, this shows you per customer. This has me here a bunch because obviously I was doing a ton of testing. But this shows you, the opens. We did have this one conversion and then the clicks as well. And then you can click on this to view that customer if you should want to do that. And then conversion is, yeah, I mean, how many orders came through this campaign? Well, we got 1 order off of this one so far, and here it is. So you can kind of see what's going on with each campaign. The other way to take a look at reports is to go to reports, and in the order reports, go to sales by campaign. And this, you can define a date range here, pardon me, and then float your cursor. It'll kind of tell you at a glance what's there. Again, there was just that 1 order for me, so that's why we're just seeing the 1. But this is where you can go to see dollars that have been generated from the campaign specifically. Let's see here. Before I go on to best practices, Margaret, is there anything that you would like that a glaring thing that I forgot? Oh, I guess I could, why don't I pop into tags and queries a little bit just to.
Yeah, that's probably a good next step. I was just going to mention that. So
awesome. So we are going to go into marketing, and we're going to go into queries. So for instance, I was like, hey, I want to pull people in who signed up in the last week. So what I did was I came to customer queries, add customer query. I'm going to call this weekly newbies. And pardon me, down here, I'm going to choose created at. So this will give us our beginning date, or you can do greater than or less than. In this case, I'm doing greater than. And I am going to, first of all, move our beautiful faces so I can see the controls here. I'm going to say from the 23rd, and then add my customer query. I'm going to execute it. Execute query, I don't need that. Close. I need to refresh my screen so I see the count. Okay, cool. So we executed and we have these 3 folks that are in this particular segment. And at this point, I can either update a particular tag that already exists with these people, or I can create a tag from the list, which is what I did. And so if I do these, pardon me, May 23rd, create tag from query. Great, they're all successfully tagged now. And now I can go back into campaigns and choose that particular tag so that I can send to these 3 people. And you can do that with order queries as well. You can, or excuse me, you can turn them into customer queries, you can have an order query, but define customers and then be able to tag them from there as well. Margaret, anything else?
Yeah, I was just going to show, if you want to go back to the configure tab, you can kind of show how you would transfer a different type of tag to a customer query.
You got it.
Yeah, so even if you open up a new query here, I'm not sure, do you have any order queries created or any other types?
There we go.
Awesome. So basically from here, so let's create a tag from an order query. So Nevada sales and bottles. So we'll go to the execute page.
All right.
And then we'll create an order tag.
Create a tag from list. All right.
We can name this Nevada or NV.
All right.
Perfect. Awesome. Sweet. So we'll go back to the customer queries section. And basically just what we're doing here is, so for queries specifically, there are different sets of information that are listed in our database. So we have order information that we can tag, we have club membership information we can tag, we have reservation and club subscription and club membership tags that you can create. But all of that data is kind of segmented in its own section in the database. So when you're querying for this information, so right now we just created a tag for that order information. But if we wanted to also tag the customers associated with those orders, we would create a customer tag, which I'll have Brittany do now, or sorry, customer query, which I'll do now. And then what we'll do is customer is found in the following order conditions. And then we'll select tag on the left under where a single order total is. Yep, perfect. And then we'll do tag is equal to NV like we just selected. Awesome. So if you wanted to do customer, name the title maybe NV as well.
Oh, yes.
Just before you run it, it's going to need it. Awesome, thank you. And then add customer query. So basically what's going to happen is the system's now looking for all customers who have placed an order that had that tag. So now when you execute this query, you're tagging all of those customers who also placed an order in Nevada. And then you can go ahead and use that tag to send a campaign to. So as Brittany's mentioned, you can only send campaigns to customer tags. And this is kind of a workaround to make sure that you can use your other tags and transition them into the customer tags to be able to send out. So I hope that helps explain how you can do that. But if you have any questions, let us know at support@commerce7.com about that in particular. Happy to walk you through it again.
Yeah, totally. Okay, cool. As far as best practices. Now, these are best practices that we see certainly at Commerce7. I've been in this space for almost 2 decades. So this is what I've seen as well. So it's kind of empirical as well as stuff that I've researched. So, oops, let me just find it. Okay. So number 1 is that you don't want to spam folks. Nobody likes to be spammed. So you don't want to over communicate. You want to be sure that I'm actually going to stop sharing so you can, there we go. Can you see me? Very important they can see me. Okay, yep. So it's yeah, it's important that you don't spam folks. So you want to make sure that you are sending very kind of thoughtful, direct, you know, very yeah, you just don't want to be, you know, over communicate. You don't want to be doing it daily or weekly. You know, you want to do it when you have something exciting that you really want to share with your folks who love you and who want to support you. So just be thoughtful about that. That we often get asked, I know that I have been asked this many times over the years, what are the best times and days to send your campaigns? And what I have found over the many years is that Mondays and Fridays are tough. Those, you don't get as much of an engagement on Mondays or Fridays. You definitely want to stay away from holiday Mondays or Fridays. Those are, people are off doing stuff. They're not necessarily in front of their computer. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays are the ones that certainly if you ask Klaviyo or MailChimp, they will say the same thing, but they see that those are the best open rates. People are, they're usually, or sometimes at work and checking stuff, and that's when they see what you sent. And usually the mornings, and you want to make sure that you catch those East Coasters as well. So if you're in California, set it for 6 a.m. so that the folks that are just getting into work, say in New York, will be able to, we'll see that. It's not gonna, get buried until the next day kind of thing. You want to keep your imagery and your text super clear and simple. You don't, people, as much as we wish they would, they don't read. They just don't read. So if they're interested in the winemaker notes, and they very well maybe, they will see that on your, they will seek it out on your site. They will, or they'll see it, certainly probably add notes when people are adding particular wines to their cart, or if they on the wines page, they can seek it out and really learn about that particular vintage and that particular varietal. But in your email campaign, they just aren't going to read it. So you want to make sure that's super clear. You have a big, bold call to action. Big, bold call to action. They know exactly, their eyes know where to go, and they know exactly what to click to get what they want. So very important. And that's precisely why our templates, they may look very simple, but there's a reason why they look very simple. They are designed very specifically with that in mind, with the customer intention and how they see things and how they want to be able to shop from their email. So those are the major things. I guess the last thing would be that, if you're wanting to make it much more branded or much more, much fancier email, you can do that, not with these tools. You would want to integrate with MailChimp or Klaviyo or any number of, companies out there that do it. But I have to say, I love the fact that it's all under the one umbrella. You're able to see your ROI at the click of a button. It's just, and again, it's designed, they're designed with the customer behavior in mind. So they're just super effective. That's all I got. So I don't know if there are any questions.
There's nothing in the Q&A right now. Actually, just kidding. There's one here from me. So it just came through. So if you schedule an email for 6 a.m., will it send out at that time, or will it wait until 8 a.m. for the batch and divide it into 3 batches? It says that emails are only sent between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Yes, so that is correctly. So basically what will happen is that it starts at that time, the 8 a.m. time, just because we've done some research on that. So then it would start at that time and then they would be sent out afterwards. Question, with offering a discount with an email campaign, do we need to add a discount code into the system? How does the website know to give them a discount? So Brittany, I'm not sure if you want to share your screen and show where you would add that coupon code. That would probably be really helpful. Basically, the website would know based on how you set up the coupon criteria. So if they're a part of the group that you've assigned that coupon to, or if it's just open to all customers, then it would go ahead and assign that coupon to the cart when they click the product add to cart. So that's how that would work technically.
Also, it probably would, let me just show you real quick too, in campaigns, go to add campaign. And then when we use one of the campaigns that actually has a, let's go to this one. So if we go down here and we click on the product block here, you can choose your product to the Chardonnay, and you'll see it pulls all the information in, including the notes, which is great. And here you can define a coupon if you would like to. So yes, I want them to get the 10% off summer sale. You can define that here.
And just as a note of caution, you want to make sure that the way you set up the coupon is eligible for those customers who are receiving it. So if it's set to a specific club or if it's set to a specific group of people, and then you send someone else the email, they're not going to see that discount, which might be a poor customer experience. So just do your due diligence, make sure that the coupon that you're offering is applicable to the group of customers that you're sending this campaign to as well.
Definitely. Yep.
Okay, Colin, can you revisit tags and queries again? I was a little lost on how that works. How do customers get a designated tag? Awesome, yeah, we'll for sure go over that for you, Colin. So basically in the system here, we have tags, which is a way to label a group of customers. And our query tools are a way for you to search for specific groups of customers based on different conditions. So when you're using our query tools, you can use very specific conditions and then tag that set of customers. You can also set a tag in the settings based on either dynamic or manual conditions as well. So if you had a customer tag that you wanted to create in the settings, here we'll navigate over to the settings just quickly.
Sure.
I'll just show what that looks like as well.
Yep.
So if you wanted to just create a dynamic tag here, we would just go ahead, create tag, change the type to manual after we created a title, or before, whatever you'd like.
Let's just call this Nevada again, just for the sake.
Yeah, so basically in this sense, in a dynamic tag like this for customers, you can create, say you wanted it to be your big spender. So lifetime value is greater than whatever amount that you deem appropriate for your operations. Then they're always going to have this tag on that customer profile. So that tag is attached to that customer. And there's the ability to create tags for orders, for club memberships, and for reservations as well. So when a tag is assigned to one of those specific types of data, it stays with that type of data. So if there's an order tag, every time you look at an order with those specific conditions, the tag will be associated with that order. It won't be on the customer profile, it will be on the order. Same with club membership tags, it will be assigned to the club member. That will be assigned, you'll see it on the customer profile as well, because club memberships are quite in line with customers, but it would be assigned to the club membership. So if they were to cancel their membership, that dynamic tag would then be removed. So when you're creating a query, when you're creating a tag from a query, basically what you're doing is you're searching for customers that meet a specific set of criteria, or you're searching for orders that meet a specific set of criteria. So for your orders or for your club memberships, if you're looking to create a query on one of those two things, basically you can tag all of the customers that are associated with that specific order data or that specific club membership data. And if you're tagging those members, then when you are transitioning that specific tag from the club membership query to a customer tag, that will allow you to send the customer tag out to the campaign. So basically what we did is we created an order tag and we tagged all orders that were placed in Nevada. And then we had all of those orders tagged. The next step is to transition those tags into customer tags so that we were able to tag all of those customers who placed orders that were placed in Nevada. And then after we did that, we had a tag for all of the customers who placed orders in Nevada. And then we were able to send out an email campaign to those specific customers. So you can apply the same logic to club membership data. If you're segmenting by specific information, tag those club members, then use that tag to create a customer tag to send out a campaign to. So basically what you're doing is you're searching in a different set of information to be able to tag those customers with that same information. I hope that clarifies a little bit more. It's definitely a super complex tool. Like our queries are a bit difficult to wrap your mind around in general. We do have some past free training Fridays on those as well, which I highly recommend watching. Kirsten went over those pretty in detail, but we will obviously continue to have more free training Fridays on these as well. I think that would be helpful moving forward. But if you have additional follow-up questions on that explanation, please feel free to ask in the chat there. I'm happy to continue elaborating on that. Okay, awesome. Glad that helped.
I think what I'll do too is create, maybe I'm just thinking out loud here. Maybe I'll create a short video that we can add to the existing documentation around campaigns, just to talk about, oh, and you can go do this,
Yeah.
I don't know,
yeah.
just a, like
For
a 1
sure.
to 2 minute thing. Where
Yeah, I think that would be really awesome. Yeah, so leasing, to clarify, you can only send campaigns to customer tags. Exactly.
Yep.
So there's articles out there too on our documentation site, which how to transition a club membership tag to a customer tag. So basically you can follow that documentation too, or you can rewatch this video and find out how to do that. And then Colin is following up here. So you're basically creating tags for a larger group and then creating tags within that group. Yeah, so basically, so a customer could have placed 10 orders in the state of Nevada, right? So in the order tag, you could see a much larger number, but when you're going to create the tag from the customer tag from the order tag, it's only going to have the one customer associated. So you're going to see less customers in the second query when you're looking for the customers, but yeah, the orders will have a much higher number basically. So basically you're tagging orders, then you're tagging customers, or you're tagging club memberships, then you're tagging customers.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, no problem. Any other questions from anyone else on that? I don't see anything in the chat here. It's rocket science, according to Lee. We really do apologize. This is definitely more of a developed tool. So we're trying to make it easier for you guys. We'll make some helpful documentation articles for you guys on how to understand this. We'll talk with Andrew too.
Yeah. My next article that I.
And if you do want to ask us questions about a specific query that you're trying to run, please let us know at support@commerce7.com. We'll be happy to help you out with that, to try and help you out with kind of wrapping your mind around the best way to search for that information. But let us know if you have any trouble and we're happy to help.
For sure.
Awesome.
All right. Are we?
I think we're good. Yeah, I don't see anything else in the chat here. So.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. And certainly if you have any questions at all, reach out to us and we're happy to take a look and help and do anything that we can.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you all for joining. It's great to have you all here.
Absolutely.
And we apologize for the link mishap at the beginning. Sorry about that. Okay. Have a great day, guys.
Okay, bye.
Bye.